Hello, Internet. This is E. Schrodinger's cat here with another episode of Foolcraft on the Iscal85 Patreon server. I've been busy. This episode is late. It's been 2 days since the last episode come out, and I am starting to record now. Because I have been doing, like Spike. I have been doing some stuff. I'm building a mountain. Because I feel like it. And it's one of those things that's I don't really know how to get video footage for it because it's a lot of the same. And I was doing similar stuff in the last episode where I built this much smaller, reasonable sized mountain. So I don't know. Now I'm doing this and I have to get video footage for it somehow. I think I just saw this area and I'm like, this project is too manageable. Let's make it less manageable so that we can be more in line with our life philosophy. To knife-fish enough here. I've over on this side, I've got these big gaping holes. This time, more vertically or horizontally oriented holes around here. I got this tunnel in here, which is pretty cool. Now you have to do the floor. The floor is totally unfinished. Let me turn on night vision so you can see the walls again. But it looks very cool with the shadows. When you look from here, and I got the water kind of coming in here, and I have this coming up and up and up and up and up. I'm not that happy with the shape. Hold on, sniff. Okay, sniff completed. It's kind of a weird shape, but I think I just need to get it in. I mean, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. I don't know. It's a weird shape, but just to kind of show you how I've been doing this. I've been doing it as you can see this wireframe here. Like there's areas that I've been doing it in stone first because obviously it takes more effort to get this clay, and minimal effort to get stone because I have those stone seeds growing and I don't have to I auto craft the stone, but it takes much less time than the clay. But I don't know. I just come in through here, and basically what I do is I look between two lines, and I say, okay, what's the line I need to do to get from there to there? And so I sort of fill it in like this, and it is again hard to get footage for because it's a lot of just placing lines and thinking and flying back and forth, like. Here, I'll come in, put another one in here, maybe come out a little bit. Part of it's just drawing a line from A to B, a line from A to B, and part of it is deviating from that a little bit to add detail and stuff, like, and interest. Like, if we fly up here, this is another reason why it takes so much damn time to get footage for this, because I have to fly around all of the damn place. So like here, instead of coming around here, I'm gonna have an entrance here, and I'm gonna have a cave in here, much like the cave that's down there. And so yeah, I think I might have like a big gaping cave hole right there. But with this, I want to try to go up, and I want to build some cool custom clouds, and I don't know, stuff above that. I can come around here and do a similar, around here, and that's been my life for the last 2 days. Some YouTubers who, when they do big projects, they do time lapses, and that usually works pretty well for them, and I like that kind of content too, and I would do that, but one, I don't have a second account. I mean, I could get a second account, that wouldn't be too difficult, but two, Foolcraft is a very resource-intensive pack, and I would need to have two instances of it running at the same time, and I have a pretty beefy computer, but I have about I think it's like 7 or 8 gigs of RAM, allocated to Foolcraft per instance. And then, of course, I need, and of course, Java, being Java, uses as much RAM as it possibly can. So I only have 16 gigs of RAM, and that plus recording it's not really feasible. So I guess that makes it more difficult. I don't know. What do you guys find interesting in terms of how something like this would be presented in a video? Because I don't know. Do you guys just like when I do this stuff and I just talk about random bullshit? Is that a thing that you like? I don't know, because a lot of times there aren't a lot of YouTubers who do large like time-lapse requiring projects in modded Minecraft where it's not technically feasible or feasible for technical reasons to have multiple instances running at the same time, or they have computers beefy enough to deal with it. I've got a good computer. I got a GTX 1060 Ti card, and which isn't, it isn't the best in the market, but it's pretty up there. And I got an i5 processor, which is also solid. Wouldn't really change much as far as if I had an i7 or something like that. And of course 16 gigs of RAM and all that stuff, but it's just the pack itself is so resource intensive that I could probably do it with Builder's Dreams if I needed to, but I'm not really on that series. That series will come back, by the way. It will come back, Builder's Dreams. It will not be abandoned, and neither will the map series. I've just been so motivated with Foolcraft, and just having some fun playing some survival. And I say survival. Foolcraft is basically creative mode at this point, but it feels like survival because I have to go back and go to my ME system every once in a while. Yeah, that's what I tell myself. But, yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a bunch. At some point, I guess I should just stop and detail something. But, I don't know. I'll figure something out. I just recorded like a 5-minute clip, and in the middle of the clip, I had to take a sniff break, which, sidetrack, I have no idea why I keep having to sniff. I think it's allergies. I hope it's seasonal allergies. I have had seasonal allergies in the past, but I don't know. It's been super annoying that it's not so sniff worthy that I gotta like blow my nose. It's just like I get this backup. I won't go into detail of my bodily functions, but I don't know. It really annoys the crap out of me, and I would love to know why, and it probably annoys you guys too, but you know what? We're in this together. Misery loves company, right? But anyway, I took a sniff break, and I forgot to unmute my microphone. Actually, I did unmute my microphone for the period of time in which I sniffed. So it was some talking, and then silence. Yeah. So, if I am to recollect the thoughts that were in that video, basically what I was asking is what kind of content, if you, let's assume we go with the random bullshit talking while terraforming model of video, which I have presented to you in this episode and also the last episode, where I have kind of these tasks that I need to do, and I just, want to talk during it because they're so large and hard to get footage for. What subjects, assuming that structure, if even acceptable, which, sometimes that's gonna be a thing. What subjects would you be interested in? Are you looking for me to stay on the topic of art in Minecraft and that kind of realm, as being, this is a sort of it's a show about a specific subject for the discussion of a subject, and that makes sense. It makes total sense why somebody who comes to a video about Minecraft would not necessarily want me to go on a whole tirade about how much I like how much I don't like when my button-down shirts come out the wash crinkled, like, you know, or you know, but you know, sometimes that can be good depending on how well it's delivered. I mean, I guess that's true for anything. Anything can be good if it's delivered well, but there's sort of like different YouTubers, when I go to take inspiration and stuff and to learn from other people, they have different strategies towards it. Some of them only talk about what they're doing on screen, and some of them will go off into more rambly rants and stuff. Like, would you guys be interested in, like, philosophizing or random stories, or I'm not going to go into politics because that's a whole can of worms. Follow me. That's for Twitter. Politics is for Twitter. I've got a whole arsenal of political shit posts if you want to find those there. My Twitter's in the description. But you know, like, and it's hard to know. Because some YouTubers it works for because they have a specific audience that likes a specific thing, and you know, different YouTubers' audiences are different. This thing that I'm saying made a lot more sense in my original recording, but unfortunately that is unusable. But anyway, like, for example, I can say, you know, Markiplier talked about this, and that worked for his viewers, so therefore I can do that, you know? Like, but that doesn't work because his audience is different than mine. He does a different kind of content, even though he's still gaming content, and also there's, you know, this isn't like copying. I'm not going to be like, well, Markiplier talked about bananas, so I'm going to talk about bananas too, so that I can get videos or subscribers and likes. No, this is about just learning, because I want to be original, of course, but I also don't want to reinvent the wheel, and I don't want to do things, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's a learning process, and it's also about meeting your audience too, and having a conversation with your audience about what they like and what they want. Because I can talk about I don't know, the farts I had in the last week, but if nobody in the whole wide world wants to hear about my fart history, which I'm pretty sure they don't, then there's no real point to me talking about it. Like, I don't get anything out of it. You guys don't get anything out of it. Like, I'm not being like, oh, I want to talk about this subject, but I'm afraid you guys won't like me. It's not that. It's more of like, well, I'm not gonna do something if nobody likes it. You know, I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's one of those things where reflection and the desire to learn and develop as an artist is different from saying I'm bad or I will only do what my audience wants to see. It's more like I want to know what people want to see so that I can weigh that so that that can be a factor in how I learn and how I develop my skills. So, I mean, I've talked about similar stuff, you know, just being like, well, I don't know how to do this, and I get the impression that people think that I feel bad, like that I feel like I have failed, and that's not really it. Like, I'm a very large proponent of self-criticism in favor, you know, in terms of being like, not like, oh, you know, I'm so bad, why does everything suck, but more like, I see a flaw with, I see a potential flaw even with what I'm doing, how accurate is it to reality, and if it is accurate to reality, how can I get better? Because you don't get better if you always are like, well, this is as good as I can do. You know, at some point you gotta be like, okay, this isn't as good as I can do. How can I improve it? And sometimes you need feedback from other people in order to get an accurate sense of that. So that's just where my brain is coming from when I ask you these kinds of questions. Don't feel bad for me when I ask these kinds of questions, because really I'm doing science. I'm polling for public opinion. I am running a test to get results in order to factor them into a series of data points. So just write down in the comments the kinds of, you know, whatever you might consider interesting to talk about, or anything you wonder about me or about art or questions in general, you know, like what kind of steak you like, medium rare. I like my steak medium rare, because I like actually tasting my steak, you know. And I have no good outro to this clip, and I'm kind of just like still talking, and I guess I should probably just stop recording. Alright, this is a day later. This episode was about to go out 2 days ago, and but on the plus side, I have almost finished my mountain. There's still a hole in it. But you know what? I switched out all the stone for clay. Finally, that took forever. There's like there's over 100,000 clay blocks in this thing, but I finished it up. I did. I don't remember the stage it was in. The last clip, I don't remember, but it's mostly done now. I got this inside tunnel bit, and this still needs work. It needs I'm not sure the shape that I'm gonna have for this room. I might go up. I'm definitely probably gonna go down and have like a pit or something there. And let's see, I filled in all the clay here, and I kind of shaped up the floor here inside of this basin right here. This was grass the last clip, I'm pretty sure. So I cleaned this up here, and it looks pretty cool, having this sort of tunnel. You have this two-way sort of path you can go. And it's kind of, there's this concept in architecture called spatial priority, and that is when your brain is navigating through a environment, it sort of prioritizes certain entrances and stuff based on the gapingness of them, for lack of a better term. So in this particular instance, the spatial priority, as you're walking down here, spatial priority goes there because there's this line that carries you this way, but it also splits a little bit towards this cavern, because the cavern is much larger than that. So it brings your attention in two directions, and sort of gives you some interest and stuff. There are some things about this mountain that I'm not particularly, there are some angles of this mountain that aren't great, like this one. But I like this. I like this sort of triangle half vagina we got here going in the wall. It looks cool. It looks like slates of rock have sort of rubbed up against each other because of the tectonic shifting or whatnot. Currently, right now, I am... Whoop! I fell. I have fallen. I'm switching out this base here, and I'm kind of blending up the brown clay into the side here, is kind of like give it some interest, because right now this whole thing is very, very I don't even know what this, brown, I guess, I don't know, tan, pinkish tan, I don't know, but it's very that color, and there's not a lot of detail. So I'm gonna try and mix in some stuff here, and then I'm also going to mix in the magenta clay that we have over here, and potentially some other stuff, so I'm gonna get to that. I brought the brown around here and all around the whole damn island. I brought it. I'll go take a flyby around here and going around town. Yeah, I think that does add quite a lot, honestly. Because it kind of breaks it up, and it will look even better when I get in some more colors in here. I got it through here. This was grass, I think, the last time, and I kind of blended it up. Blended up here. I'm gonna build a bridge, to here to over there. That's gonna connect to that with what's gonna be an island. That area, and. Brought it over here, kind of. I'm still undecided about what I want to do with this area. I might have another mountain, or maybe I'll put something else. I don't know. But that is all the time I have for today. It's actually 2 days more than the amount of time I have for today. Yeah, I carried it down here. I should show you what it looks like without night vision, because it looks better, I think. But I'm gonna have to say good day to you, internet, because it's been a while. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.